Good afternoon, all in the room. Good afternoon, all of you online. Knew this was going to happen to me. There we go. In the room, can you tell me what these are? Oh, yes, Raptor engines. So the Raptor engines is designed by SpaceX. Now, at first view, you might think the one on the right there next to Ashley is the most impressive. It's bigger, looks like it's got more performance and more thrust. But you'd be wrong. The one closer to me, the Raptor 3 engine, has more performance, more thrust, and is actually lower cost to manufacture. And as you can see, it has fewer external components and is less complex. And that's because when SpaceX are developing these rocket engines, they ask themselves these questions. What needs to stay? What can be removed? And what can be simplified to improve over time? Now, you might be thinking, why is David talking about rocket engines when we're here for an investment seminar? The reason for that is this is a prime example of the KISS principle.
Now, if David and I are going to talk about KISS, to some of you in the room, these guys may come to mind, being KISS, the rock band, who were incredibly popular out in the 90s when I was born. But we're not talking about them today. We're going to take it a little bit further back in time to the 1950s, when the US military developed a principle which they called Keep It Simple, Stupid, abbreviated to KISS. The principle was built on the philosophy that the systems work best when they are simple. And the idea was that they could take an average engineer with a simple set of tools and give him the capability to work on something as sophisticated as a fighter jet or something as simple as a Humvee's engine, all with that basic set of tools.
So we've had rocket engines, we've had rock bands, and we've had the US military. And you might be thinking, when are they going to talk about investments? So we're now going to look at the KISS principle within wealth management and how Capital International have embedded this with the services and solutions we provide you, and we've changed it to keep it simple and scalable. Thank you, Ashley.
There you go, David.
So, what are the benefits of the KISS principle? We're going to show you the benefits to you, our intermediaries, and finally, and more importantly, your clients.
So, adopting the KISS principle within Capital International, what we wanted to do was implement it across multiple facets within our business. But today, David and I are going to just demonstrate 3 key examples of how we've brought KISS to Capital International. Firstly, through our streamlined onboarding approach. Secondly, through the adaptation of the investment platform over time. And then ultimately, how we brought simplicity to the look and feel of our interface.
So let's start at the beginning. Onboarding is really that first touch point between you and your clients in Capital International. And we had a paper-based application process, which was fraught with human error. You had to fill in lots of documents. Data was missing at times. Pages weren't scanned to us. And even we couldn't read your handwriting at the beginning. So we've changed that, and we've launched a digital onboarding experience where you fill in that data, and guess what? You cannot submit it until all the data has been filled in. So it's what I call idiot-proof. No, I'm not calling anybody an idiot in the room. But not just that, we've taken it a step further, because we want to remove them emails backwards and forwards to find out what's happening with the application, where is it in the process, has it been opened. So we've created a dashboard that shows you all of that information in a simple format. So you can see what's been submitted, where it is in that process, because you might not do it all straight away. Has it been opened, or even did it get cancelled and not progress? And that's what we've done with our onboarding, to take complex process and simplified it.
So in saying that, we've got onboarding down from, what was it, 13 days to 72 hours?
Correct.
But the second side of where we brought KISS into the platform was we adopted the simple but by design approach into the look and feel of the investment platform. Now, 4 years ago when I joined Capital International, that is what our investment platform used to look like. It was very one-dimensional, had very limited information, pretty much just numbers on the page, and it involved a lot of work and arithmetic, mostly on your part, the financial advisor, to get that information back out to your client and report it in a functional way. So we developed an in-house approach called Voice of the Client, where myself and the rest of the business development team here today would go out and meet with you and engage with you on a day-to-day basis and ask you questions like, what do you like? What don't you like? What should we take away and what should we improve? And we took all of that information and brought it back to Alex, who spoke a little bit earlier today, and his team, and actually went and built the platform into what it looks like today. So we went from this to this, which if you have a client logging into the investment platform, what is normally the first thing that they want to know? And that is, what is my policy worth? What's my account worth at today? And that's why we put that right on top as the first line item, which draws your eye, so your client knows what's the valuation of my account. The second aspect they would normally ask is, how much have I actually invested with Capital International? And we clearly demonstrate that. And we took it a step further to show you how much of your portfolio is actually invested in the market. And then right there on the end, we've gone and done the math to show you on estimate, more or less, how far are you up or down and how your investments are performing. But like David and I, we're quite visual, so we wanted to bring that visual dynamic to the platform as well. And we brought the asset allocation chart through to the platform as well. Now, this gives you a simple view at any point in time to see what your client's holdings are, visually demonstrated, which you can hover your mouse over and see exactly what is held inside of that custody account, with the capability to flick back to any date range since the inception of the account and see exactly what those holdings were at that time as well. We went further to say some people like pie charts, other people, they like graphs. And we developed the valuation charts as well, so that you could, by simply hovering your mouse over any point within the graph, it'll give you the exact valuation of the account on that date and time, making conversations with your client using the platform as a tool that much easier. Lastly, one more point was the currency toggle. Now, there's actually advisors here in the room who asked for this feature because while their clients are invested in US dollars or in pounds sterling, they're South Africans. They want to know what it's worth in rands or in dirhams in Dubai, right? So we put a currency toggle in which you can immediately click on, and it will flick all those valuations into a currency that your clients use and understand on a day-to-day basis.
But that's not enough. You just wanted more. And the feedback was, we'd like performance. So we shared that with Alex, and Alex took this complex calculation and he simplified it. Now on Friday, when we were all enjoying our public holiday, it went live. So I'm not sure if you all know it, but you've now got performance within your portfolios. And it actually looks like this. So keeping that KISS principle in mind, we've simplified the view. You've got a nice graph to track the performance since inception. We've added the percentages for every month and every year. And we've even made it easier on the eye with a green, which means positive, and a red, which is a negative month. And that is part of our ongoing voice of the client, where we're simplifying a complex calculation from that screen to a personal view that's a lot easier for you and your clients using the KISS principle.
But we didn't just want to stop at developing our in-house platform and the look and the feel of it. going back to what I was saying about using tools, functional tools for you, the advisor out there with your clients, we wanted to build solutions that you could use to improve the outcomes and the capability of what you can offer your clients. And we'll demonstrate this through 4 key examples, namely in succession planning, our Kinesis service, secondly. After that, we'll talk a little bit about how asset management can be used to enhance those outcomes, and then bring it all together in the client management interface that you use.
So let's look at succession planning. And I know you have these conversations with your clients because they want to know what happens if I die and what will happen to my Capital International account. And succession planning is complex. You might have to deal with probate in the Isle of Man. You might have to queue at the master's office in South Africa. It can take a long time to wind up an estate, and it can be costly. Now, those of you that were here last year hopefully can remember we launched Deed of Donation. And Deed of Donation removes the requirement for probate in the Isle of Man. You don't have to go to the master's office, and you can transfer that account to your beneficiaries in a timely manner when they need it most. But we also understood not all your clients are domiciled here in South Africa. So we've built what we call our international beneficiary nomination. So if you've got clients in Dubai or the UK where I'm from, or Australia or Europe, you can use that nomination form, similar to Deed of Donation, to pass on that capital account assets to their beneficiaries, removing the need for probate, and also getting them assets handed over in a timely manner. We say we can do it within 30 days for you.
Now, Ben Franklin once famously said that in this world, nothing is certain but death and taxes. But David just spoke about some key tools through succession planning that can help you manage and plan around the death aspect. But we've got sophisticated tools that can help you plan around the tax aspect as well. Now, our Kinesis service is a prime example of that, in that it can help you mitigate the risk of having citus tax posed to your clients who are holding US or UK domiciled assets. Fundamentally, what it does is it creates a break in ownership between the individual and the underlying assets, and therefore can avoid that citus tax risk being posed on their estates. Apart from that, Kinesis has got some other strategic advantages as well, in that it has the capability to provide gross roll-up in the outcomes of the account. Now, what that means is, if your client holds a portfolio of assets generating income or profit, it rolls all of that up into the valuation of the principal contract, and effectively making that income a capital gain. Now, the advantage for you as the advisor and the client is you can plan when that capital gain or when that tax event may occur, be it today or if it may ever occur as well.
So you've heard from David and Russell about our fabulous asset management service, and a lot of our advisors use it and outsource their investment decisions. Now, one of our most popular is our Prism discretionary investment management service, and I'm actually invested in it as well. Now, the feedback from our advisors who were utilizing this was saying the brochure is a little bit complicated and complex to understand for the end client. And I agree, because we've got 12 risk horizons, we have defined mean, we've got volatility, we've got investment time horizon. There's a lot of information there to absorb. So we took that feedback and we created a simplified sales aid for advisors. We've grouped them into cautious, balanced, and growth. You've still got the horizons, the return, and the volatility. We've just simplified the message and the language. And the feedback from advisors that are using this, it's coming really handy for their clients to make them informed decisions when they're meeting them on a regular basis.
And then lastly, bringing that all together in our client management interface was the idea that we realize your client, for example, Mr. John Smith, may have an account with an international pension provider, maybe running accounts in local endowment wrappers and those types of solutions, or you could be running a discretionary portfolio directly with Capital International. They may also hold assets in a family trust, and for you as the advisor, you'd have to log in to multiple different platforms and try and consolidate all of that information and manage it in a coherent way with your client. So we have now created the capability, when using Capital as the platform inside of all of those structures, to group those clients and group those accounts into a simple, reportable line item that you can show to your client directly from a headline view. Or if you really want to go beyond the surface, you can open that line item and dig deeper into those underlying accounts through the valuations that we showed a little bit earlier.
So, to wrap up, Ashley and I have demonstrated that KISS principle where we've created that toolbox of solutions and services for you. And we've tried to remove all the complexity and give you that simple toolbox to use for you and your clients. And that's why we're confident that if you use Capital International for the engine to power the growth and the scalability of your business. Thank you for your time. Ashley and I will be free over lunch if you want to chat and find out about some of these amazing services and solutions.